Get ready, because the future of digital identity is exploding. We've got a massive cybersecurity shakeup hitting the retail world. Plus, brand new global standards for real-time security alerts are dropping from OpenID. Then, Australia is leveling up its identity, proofing with cutting-edge biometrics. And finally, President Tinubu is celebrating Nigeria's incredible digital identity advancements. Stick around, you do not want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Retailers under fire, identity's weakest link exposed. The retail industry is facing a relentless barrage of cyberattacks, with major players like Marks & Spencer, Co-op, and Harrods recently falling victim. This ongoing threat highlights a critical vulnerability: identity security. Rob Ainscough, Chief Identity Security Advisor at Silverfort and former head of IAM at Tesco, dives deep into why retailers are prime targets. The shift to digital-first operations and the vast amounts of sensitive consumer data make them incredibly attractive to cybercriminals. As retailers equip their frontline staff with digital identities for enhanced productivity and customer service, their attack surface expands significantly. The recent attacks exploited old-school social engineering tactics to steal credentials, highlighting that even with complex systems spanning on-premise, cloud, and SaaS, exploitable identity gaps persist. Ainscough emphasizes that the core challenge lies in finding scalable solutions to broadly protect identities and prevent account compromises before attackers can exploit weaknesses. Retailers often misunderstand identity, viewing it through an operational lens focused on seamless access rather than robust security. This approach leaves critical gaps. IAM technologies, built for managing identity rather than securing it, are insufficient on their own. The current threat landscape demands a new focus on containing the risk of compromised accounts everywhere. Protecting only privileged accounts or having inconsistent security across different systems is no longer viable. Robust protection, including multi-factor authentication across the hybrid estate, is essential to prevent a single account compromise from escalating into a major security incident. Even legacy systems can be secured by restricting outdated protocols and creating security boundaries. The community is buzzing about the need for a complete overhaul. Analysts and security experts agree that identity security must be a central pillar of any retail security strategy, involving strengthened access controls, limiting the impact of compromise, and active monitoring for identity threats. This is just the tip of the iceberg in retail cybersecurity. You won't believe what OpenID is doing next. Global Security Leap. OpenID's real-time threat alerts are here. In a monumental step for digital security, the OpenID Foundation has just finalized 3 new global standards poised to revolutionize how we handle security threats across identity systems. For years, federated identity systems have struggled with a critical vulnerability: the inability to share real-time security updates after a user's initial login. This meant sessions could remain exposed for days or even weeks as user roles, device compliance, or threat landscapes changed. These groundbreaking specifications, the OpenID Shared Signals Framework 1, OpenID Continuous Access Evaluation Profile, CAEP 1, and OpenID Risk Information Sharing and Coordination, RISC 1, define precisely how security event information is exchanged in real time. The Shared Signals Framework allows for the secure, immediate delivery of alerts, such as a device management system notifying other systems of a compromised device. CAEP1 enables systems to continuously update session validity based on real-time information, moving beyond static login events. RISC-1 establishes protocols for sharing account-level security issues, like compromised credentials or suspected account takeovers, between different services. This development directly addresses long-standing security gaps that forced organizations into difficult choices, either constantly reprompting users, disrupting workflows, or accepting increased risk by allowing potentially compromised sessions to persist. Now, swift, coordinated security responses across distributed digital services are possible. Alerts about unusual or high-risk behavior can be shared instantly, allowing for immediate mitigation. Adil Tulshabagwil, CTO at SGNL and co-chair of the OpenID Foundation's Shared Signals Working Group, led this crucial development. The final specification, status, provides the stability and confidence needed for widespread adoption by major tech firms like Apple and IBM, as well as governments worldwide. The tech community is abuzz with excitement, seeing this as a foundational upgrade for sectors like finance, healthcare, and government, promising enhanced security for billions of users. This global security upgrade is massive, but wait until you see how Australia is embracing biometrics for even stronger identity proofing. Australia's Biometric Boost. New guidelines redefine identity proofing. Get ready, Australia. The government has just dropped a long-awaited update to its identity proofing guidelines, and it's a game changer, especially for how biometrics are integrated. Back in 2016, when the original guidelines were set, selfie biometrics were novel, and identity proofing was mostly in person or quite basic. Now, under the 2023 National Strategy for Identity Resilience, these guidelines have been modernized to reflect the significant evolution in identity binding practices. The most significant upgrade: biometrics are now front and center. The updated guidelines, while voluntary, strongly encourage their use. They provide organizations with clear advice on binding a claimed identity to a credential using biometric data. This includes detailed chapters on identity verification, types of evidence, alternative proofing methods, and risk assessment. A key addition is the inclusion of levels of assurance, LoAs, with LoA 2 plus specifically incorporating biometrics when substituting credentials for documents. LoA 3 requires verification with authoritative sources, and LoA 4 adds an in-person witness. The guidelines also introduce a risk management framework to help organizations determine the appropriate LoA for different applications, including how to calculate a total risk rating based on consequence and likelihood. For capturing biometric data, the ISO IEC 39794 standard is recommended, with LoA 3 processes expected for issuing biometrically anchored credentials. Attorney General Michelle Rowland emphasized that strong identity proofing is crucial for protecting Australians from fraud, enhancing national identity resilience, and ensuring trusted processes across public and private sectors. The updated guidelines aim for greater national consistency and support organizations in proofing both physical and digital identities. The public reaction is largely positive, with discussions focusing on the potential for enhanced security and convenience, while also acknowledging the need for careful implementation and privacy considerations. This move positions Australia at the forefront of adopting modern identity verification technologies. Australia is stepping up its identity game, but you won't believe the massive digital identity celebrations happening in Nigeria. Nigeria's digital identity milestone, Tinubu celebrates massive gains. Nigeria is celebrating a significant leap forward in its digital transformation journey. President Bola Tinubu recently reaffirmed his administration's unwavering commitment to building a secure, inclusive, and digitally empowered nation, all anchored by a robust identity system. The occasion: the 2025 National Day of Identity celebration in Abuja, organized by the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. President Tinubu declared that in the 21st century, identity is far more than just a record. It's the bedrock of citizenship, the gateway to opportunity, and the anchor of national security. He powerfully linked the day's theme, public key infrastructure, backbone to digital public infrastructure, to the future Nigeria is actively constructing. He stressed that PKI is not a distant dream, but the essential backbone supporting digital transformation, ensuring every Nigerian's identity is secure, trusted, and usable across all platforms. Represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Sen George Akyum, Tinubu lauded NIMC's Director General, Engr, Abisoye Coker-Odusote, for transforming the Commission into a world-class institution within just 1 year. He highlighted impressive achievements, including clearing over 2.5 million record backlogs, deploying 800 mobile enrollment devices, and enrolling a staggering 126 million Nigerians, calling the database 126 million stories of visibility, empowerment, and inclusion. Further underscoring NIMC's progress, the president noted the expansion of services beyond Nigeria's borders, with over 200 diaspora enrollment centers, dedicated registrations for vulnerable populations, and integration with 125 government agencies. The mandatory NIN-SIM linkage and a verification system boasting 99.9% uptime were also praised. Coker-Odusote reinforced NIMC's alignment with SDG 16.9 and explained how PKI ensures data security and privacy, fostering a digital economy for all citizens. She reported over 123 million Nigerians enrolled, with waiting times slashed by 49%, and debunked false data breach claims, emphasizing the database's security and collaboration with law enforcement to combat cyber fraud. The NIN's impact is tangible, enabling student loans, financial inclusion, and targeted subsidies, truly serving as a gateway to opportunity, security, and dignity. Nigerians are expressing immense pride and optimism. The narrative is clear. The National Identification Number, powered by PKI, is becoming the universal key to unlocking services and opportunities across both public and private sectors, solidifying Nigeria's position as a leader in digital identity. And that wraps up our incredible updates for today. What a packed show! We saw the retail industry grappling with identity security challenges, OpenID launching game-changing global standards for real-time security alerts, Australia modernizing its identity proofing with a big push for biometrics, and President Tinubu celebrating Nigeria's massive strides in digital identity. Don't miss out on the next wave of digital innovation. Smash that like button, subscribe to MetaVerse Update for your daily dose of tech news, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow us on all social platforms for more exclusive content. We'll see you in the next one.